What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another welding video, or stream rather. I just changed the color of that light. I love how I always make last minute changes to the stream. I feel like there's 3 settings on this light and I feel like I've flicked it somewhere. I think that's a better color setting. I feel like I flicked the little Kelvin switch thing at some point, but that looks a bit better. Chris is here. G'day, Chris. Thanks for coming along to the stream. I feel like I haven't streamed for bloody ages, but I've been trying to be mindful about not letting it impact the other aspects of my life. So I think I've done a pretty good job of that so far, but tonight, right now, I'm realizing all the things I didn't do before I hit live. I've tried advertising the stream tonight on TikTok. I don't think the links actually work to YouTube from TikTok. I've also advertised it on the AT Performance Facebook and Instagram. Done a ton of welding today. I feel like I've welded a lot today, but I am super keen to weld these. I like these R34 tanks. I will show you one in a second as I get ready. I normally get ready in that 5-minute countdown, but also I think it's pretty well documented by now that I just freaking hit go and then panic, and I haven't plugged my helmet in yet either. Which means I haven't tested this camera. Fingers crossed that that it works, which we'll test right now in a welding screen. Let's just point this down a little bit. So I've put, what do we need to do? Let's get at a looking screen. So I've put the Stream Deck on a, can you see that there, on a dial indicator arm, which I've just bolted to the racking here. So now it's not sitting on the bench anymore. I've also made another panel. Let's get this down here. That light is definitely not the right light. So I've made this panel here. I don't know what you want to call it, but this situation that goes in the side of the drill bit sharpener to hold used and then sharpen tungstens, along with the new grinder attachment for it. I'm going to put like a little swing arm on the side of the table here so it can just live here permanently, but for right now it's sitting on the bench, and that's doing that. I'll walk off on this plugged in helmet. Let's turn this up to, yeah, I think it's got to be this setting, otherwise nothing's going to be the right color. Okay, now we've done all that crap. Let's test this welding camera. The welding camera is working, and I will just jump in there quickly and just check the settings haven't changed. Okay, so the settings had gone back to auto, which is one of the things that I was experiencing last time I tried the restart on or deactivate when not in use feature, but we'll you know, it's a really simple problem to solve. So, and I don't think it's that big of a deal if they do go to auto. The only thing it does do is change the brightness, which will only affect it during an arc. It will be fine the rest of the time. So let's check this out. So we've got R34 tanks. We've seen them a few times already. They are the two tank situation that get welded together. I got 4 of these to do. I 100% am not going to get all 4 done tonight. But I really like these. They're all just straight lines and they're all at real comfortable heights. They're nice little tanks to weld. I'll start with one that's got pretty good fit up. Okay, cool. So, still using and will for the foreseeable future be using the 2% serrated tungsten. It's all I've got in the lineup right now. I've actually taken all the lanthanated ones and put them in the drawer. So it's serrated all the way as for right now. Just got someone hanging around out the front of my shop. I think they're going somewhere else. Okay, so we can see there that I'm going to bump that screen a little bit. Alright, so let's get to welding. I will weld one of the seams on the underside to start with to get a bit of heat into the part, and then we'll flick over to the top and weld that filter basket in. This will be a better angle. Okay, so if I put you guys over there, that should be fine. The welding helmet should take on the rest. I have already bowled the tungsten. We're using the number 5 gas lens still with the ceramic cup. Still haven't received the new Tigware cup. We got the Tigware PTFE or Teflon back end. Yeah, 2% serrated. We're 7% on the gas flow. 7%. 7 litres a minute on the argon, and I'll show you the welding settings. I have actually been playing around with the settings, and let's just fire that up. So right now I'm on -22 on the AC balance. I'm on 85 Hertz square wave. Everything else is the same. We're still running that extra 5% on the frequency start and should still be on 110 amps. So everything else is the same. I've actually just been playing around with the AC balance, trying to dial in the etch zone on the weld. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same. Just today specifically, I've just been welding a whole bunch of, they're right there, a whole bunch of air boxes. And where are we here? I finished off those R32 tanks we were doing last week. And now we're on to R34 tanks. So let's, 15 minutes into the bloody stream, let's start welding. Okay. Not a bad start. Everything's still pretty cold. I started here for two reasons. One, there was a little bit of overlap where the panel joined, and two, because this hole's super close. Definitely not a bad one to start on cold. In hindsight, I should have probably done this seam or all of these seams on this side, since they will get welded over again when we join the two tanks together. But I'll just mental note that for the subsequent ones we do. So here I think we've got enough tacks to stop it from warping, so it's just going to be a case of tacking up the corners and welding out this filter basket. Going to keep the settings the same. Not bad on that filter basket there. Still really struggling with getting a nice wide bead or profile, I guess. Really need to figure out this lighting situation on the corner startups. I wish I could get that to sink in a bit more, and I know I could if I hung out a bit longer. Definitely need to make that a priority, trying to fix those couple little parts that I don't like. But for now, I'm just going to run around the whole part, and if I start down on this corner here and just work my way around. Still, my order of filler rods haven't arrived, so I'm using 1/2 meter rods. I feel like I go through way too many rods, but it's the same, just a lot of stubs, unfortunately. We'll jump into the machine screen this time and see what's going on there. Unfortunately, ran out of filler. What did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dabs before the end there. Something doesn't feel right tonight, and I'm going to assume at this point that it's the 85 hertz. Felt great today while I was welding those air boxes, but we'll just go up to the 123 that we know is awesome. Normally I'm on -28 on the AC balance as well. But for the time being, I will leave it at the 22. So the 22 was a good number over the last few tests that I've done. Gone as low as 18, so I was getting sort of good results around 18, but bit of a buffer in there at 22. Let's keep going. Alright, that camera doesn't want to restart, and the other one doesn't want to come back online. There. Does this one want to come on? No. No? Okay. Something's going on. I should just be able to restart this one manually. Still got audio, so... Interesting. So that camera should be on right now, but it is not. And that main camera is not doing anything. The welding camera is still working though, correct? No, we have lost all... Interesting, we've lost all video feeds. We don't even have the action camera. Okay, I've lost all of the video feeds, which is very bizarre. I don't think this is the first time this has happened, but that action camera shouldn't ever lose video feed. It's on a whole different system. So why? Action camera is this one maybe. Okay, it's no, not this. It's possibly this. Did anything come back? Okay, some things came back. That has come back. We just need this camera to come back. I have a suspicion that if that comes back, yes. Okay, I have a suspicion that the basically I have my this computer that I stream from. The only thing that I have connected to it apart from all the streaming stuff is my CO2 laser, and the way that I've had to hook it up is that I've had to use the existing networking system, I guess, like the network cables that are in the building. So I've got some network cables sort of over this side, I've got some over this side, I've got some over here, and then upstairs. And I found a series that get from this one here to that one over there. Anyway, so I have 40 odd meters of network cable to go 3 meters across the room without having a cable running across the floor or ceiling. And what I think is me taking the really long way is that when I have the laser plugged in, it stops the cameras from working. That's something that we've experienced in the past. We'll certainly see if it happens again. But have all the cameras go out like that seems very strange. So I'm just saving the changes we made to that profile. And this section I'm about to weld across the top here. I had a go at doing one, I don't know if I did it on stream or not, but one I did recently, and I did it in a pulse setting, because I never liked the width of the bead across the top there. And I used pulse program number 3 here, say here, you can't see, which is just a 1 pulse per second, 55% on time. So we're going to give that a go tonight and see if that is the answer to getting a wider bead across the top there. It has cancelled out all the camera settings, so we'll check it out and we'll see what it looks like while we're welding, instead of me diving in and changing it all right now. yeah, definitely gets the results that I want from that weld. Really nice pulse setting. Actually, I might have a play and try and weld out the rest of this tank with a pulse. Chris, sorry to ignore you before. I did see your messages come through. Thank you, thank you for the updates, man. I really appreciate it. Let's just try it, eh? Let's see how the pulse goes. Okay, yeah, that was quite nice. Recently, when I've been trying to pulse weld, I've been getting a lot of undulation in the weld. And normally I can show you that, but the lighting, I really need to move that light again. The lighting just isn't at the right angle. But the welds look pretty good. Look really good for a pulse setting, actually. So I don't know, I think a lot of it is mood dependent. I think I say that quite often. I think a lot of welding is reflective of mood. Definitely want to just update those camera settings though. We'll just have to jump in a welding screen. Okay, that should hopefully look a little bit better during the arc shots. Just basically, it's a manual focus camera, but the software has some autofocus that it's trying to do in the background, and then also it sets its own brightness. So I basically just lock the focus and lock the brightness, and that sort of gives us a better result. So we'll persist with the pulse setting. Let's just see what our average is over here. Yeah, looks all good. Cool. See this number here? Can you see that? Get this guy. This camera is the one that needs freaking autofocus and simply doesn't have it. 936 hours of on time. I have accidentally left this machine on overnight a few times. Doesn't really affect anything apart from increase the hours, but I haven't even done 100 hours of welding since I've had this machine, and I reckon, I'd have to go back and check the video, but I reckon I've had it for over a year. That's not that much welding, really. I haven't even done 100 hours welding with this machine yet. It's absolutely crazy. But let's add to that right now. Alright, some pretty nice welds actually. It looks really nice. Can we get, yeah, we don't have that undulating situation that I normally get from a pulse weld. Looks good all the way around. You can actually really tell the difference between my non-pulsed weld and my, no, that's not pulsed, this one here. And my pulsed weld tonight. Let's try welding the entire next one in pulse. Which we'll do one of the washer bottles Next, and I might just start with this little bit of a gap going on at the bottom here. Might start from this corner back here and just cruise around. I like the lighting looks really good. Chris, you're so awesome, man. Thank you. August 31, 2020. Wow. Okay. I would have said that I bought it mid last year. So, yeah, I haven't even done 100 hours of welding since August. Wow. Thank you. Man, I wish I have a Google thing here that I ask questions all the time. But if I could get answers like that all the time, that'd almost be priceless for me here. I appreciate it. Thank you. What did I want to do? I wanted to jump into settings, and I just wanted to. I probably shouldn't play around while it's going good, but so normally I run about a 60% on time. Are we on the right screen? Yes. But we're 55 at the moment, which is cool. 1 second pulse, nice and manageable. What I wanted to try was just upping, but if I do, it's going to upset the width of the weld. Fuck it. Yeah, we'll do our magic 123, and I won't save any of these settings, so at least it will revert back. So we'll go 123 on the hertz, and just see how it looks. We're going to weld this whole thing in pulse, so let's try it out. Okay, so I ended up going back to, I actually went right down to 95 hertz after that first section. Just look at it, and you can see that it wasn't where it's at compared to the other two little sections. Granted, the part was cold, but I don't even think that was the issue. It was definitely the frequency that made a difference. And I am actually cautious, I was going to say. So when we were at 123 hertz, yeah, I feel like I was pushing the pedal down further compared to the 95 hertz, and it's a little bit evident there. So cool. I think there's some pretty good settings. So let's just keep on keeping on. getting some really good results. Thinking about that while I was welding, and I definitely haven't done any pulse welding since swapping over to serrated tungsten. And I am finding that my arc is way more stable on this serrated tungsten, so I wonder if that's got something to do with it. It's definitely something I've been struggling with this machine, is getting really consistent pulse welds. One thing I want to do, but I'll finish this part and make the changes on the next part, is I'd really like to shorten up that on time and see if I can get the same width in sort of a shorter blast. But yeah, we'll just finish off this part and then swap out the settings for the new part. Yeah, I agree. They look bloody good tonight. Really, really happy with how that turned out. Really good consistency. None of that undulation that I normally get or expect. Even on this, which is not a real nice weld. Not a nice seam to weld. Usually, yeah, again, really good consistency. A freaking thumb on this glove. My skin is poking out. Yeah, happy with that. Let's try. Let's grab this one here. Let's try a whole tank and see how we're going. We're at the 56-minute mark. It's currently 20 past 6 here, and my intent is to keep the streams going until about 7 o'clock, and the selfish aspect is to just fit around my preferred gym schedule. All right, I'm going to weld this seam at the bottom here to start with before we whip over to the top, and let's jump into settings. And in the pulse settings here, I just want to change the on time. If I go right down to 40 and just see how that feels. I'm just trying to get a quicker, like a faster blast, and see if I can maintain the same width. This seam here has a slight gap, about 0.5 millimeter gap for almost the whole duration, I guess, from maybe 15 mil past that tack, it starts opening up. And I will be welding towards the gap, which is just going to be a nice little test for the pulse setting. Let's check it out. Which definitely did the things that I wanted it to do. I was actually hoping to get a more pronounced sort of ripple in the bead, which it certainly did, but definitely not. I mean, it looks really good, but it's not really fitting with my style. Where were we before? 55, I think. So if I go 45, try and meet it halfway. See how that goes for me. Really having a hard time with these short fillers. These are all the stubs that I've got that are just too short to do a full seam on one of these tanks. Even this one, it's probably not going to be long enough to do this this seam up the back here. But the emergency fillers are definitely doing their job. We're still welding, and that's the main thing. Thank you, Chris. It should, it should recycle between welds. I just need to be mindful not to carry on too far. Not too bad there. I mean, it's a nice looking weld, but I think we were at 55 on the on time, and I think for whatever I'm trying to solve, oh, that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll just go to 50. We'll just keep sneaking up on it, I guess. I'm going to weld this filter basket now. I'm going to have a crack. I used to exclusively weld them with a pulse setting, and we'll try and do that again. We'll at least try the pulse setting tonight. I'm going to try and use up some of these little stubs as well. So it looks like we've had all the cameras lock up again, so there goes my theory on the laser cutter. I'm just going to finish out this weld and then we'll deal with it. Okay, cameras. Let's see what we can see. I don't have any theories as to why the cameras may be locking up. Try that and see if they come back negative. If I can get this camera to come back. See if we can get this one to come back online, which is this cable here. Does that one? No. It's got to be something to do with the... I have no idea, actually. What cable can I pull to to try and make a difference? Highly doubt it's that. Sucks that I have to walk so far to see if it's fixed. So if it's not that, then the only other thing I can try is this. The main camera has an error on the screen. It says to reinstall the battery. Did I have a voltage spike or something maybe? Maybe that's what's happening. Let's try this, hit this button. Okay, that camera is working. This camera is working. This camera is not working. That's probably not the end of the world if it does or not. It needs to be manually restarted. And there's probably a high possibility that the welding camera is working, but the welding camera needs the settings reset every time. I wonder if I'm getting some sort of voltage spike or yeah, maybe that's what it is. I have this stuff here. I haven't done anything with it, and I think it might make a good YouTube video. I bought it and tested it, and it works, but I got some here. I got some EMF cloth. Actually bought quite a large sheet of it, and I've tried actually wrapping my phone in it, and you can't make a phone call, or you can't receive a phone call while it's wrapped in that cloth, and that's been the extent of my test. But what I was thinking of doing was putting it inside a sheath and putting all the computer cables inside that. And I've actually been thinking about taking the covers off of the side of my welding machine and lining it. I don't know if that would actually make a difference. I don't know how much EMF resonates from the actual welding machine itself. I think it's just all of it. I think a lot of it might come from the table completing the circuit. I have taken the rubber pads off and put wheels on, but I'm also looking at getting silicon wheels. I don't know. I think this is just part of it. This seems to be just part of having a welding stream, is dealing with the you know, the technical ball plop of it. I'd love to just be able to stream a welding stream and not have to deal with all the back end stuff, but I just don't think it's possible. The more I do, the more I don't think it's possible. So the pulse setting on this, apart from having to stop start just in the middle here, I think because I've done it for so long on a pulse setting, I welded across towards myself, whereas the new method that we've been doing on this stream is welding away from me. So I did the bulk of it towards me, and then the last one here I did away from me, and it looks bloody beautiful. So I just incorporated everything we learnt previously, but reintroduced that pulse setting. So I'm curious to see if that's an answer, but normally pulse isn't this good for me, and I'm really loving it tonight. So we'll keep welding. We'll keep welding for as long as cameras don't freeze, and probably until this can's done. I'll just pop this in focus. I might back it off a little bit so it's good for when we move it around. And yeah, let's just keep on going. So we do need to reset those settings. So I'll just do that and then I'll start welding. These cameras keep on dying. It looks like the welding camera stayed good, but I wonder if I can force a restart on this this guy here. Let's try. Nah, can't do that. I can't do anything. Yeah. You definitely have that issue with radios, of course. I've got ferrites on everything here as well. On most of the cables, I've got it at both ends. The welder, somebody had suggested to wrap the earth cable around around all the other cables, and I've tried that as well. What did I do just now? I unplugged this guy. I can try. Nope, that's the wrong guy. This guy. Do that. It's funny that the main camera stopped and the welding camera kept going, and they are actually on the same. Like I've got a USB 3 hub back there. They're actually on the same hub. So for one to stop and one to keep going is very interesting. That one's good, that one's not. This one will need, probably I can cycle a restart there. That's probably not long enough. Yes, yeah, so that'll cycle on a restart. Yeah, I've definitely got something going on. Definitely got something going on. Yeah, one that leads into a coil. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Is there a like? Do you need to wind it into a tight coil or just coil up? Because I've actually tried that with the XS, and obviously we're having the problem now. But we can go some nights and have no issues. So I really don't understand. Or at least it's very hard to pinpoint what the problem is. I just sort of keep trying stuff and, you know, I guess I get a false sense of accomplishment because it works one night and then not the other. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what more I can do. I've actually, like, the racking that I've got the computer sitting in, I've put it on 2-inch blocks of rubber, so it's not really touching anything, but I do have like the welding table pushed up against it. It may be an earthing issue with the table on this bearing. Every now and then I get a misstart on the arc. I really don't know. I really don't know. Every time I think I've solved the problem, it resurfaces, and yeah, I guess losing all the cameras makes me wonder what it is exactly. Like, to lose all the cameras, I mean, I understand the ones that are on or whatever, but which makes me think it's a computer problem. I have a really strong suspicion that the motherboard's on the way out. It is quite an old motherboard as well. I've tried moving the computer away, close, up, down. The problem is that the further I run the computer, put the computer away, the longer I have to run cables, and the cables are an issue in themselves. One, logistically, and two, you know, they're susceptible. The cables that I am using, I don't know, I can't get this one in the shop. I've got, I can't get any in the shop, but they are all sheath, like metal sheath cables. Just a loose coil, yeah. That's what I've got going on at the moment. So this stream deck that I've got over here, I've actually got ferrites on both ends of the cable, and the cable is coiled, but every time I start an arc I can see it cycle on and off. But this thing, in particular, it's whatever it is, it's 15 little LED screens. Like, each button is a little screen, and it's super susceptible, I think. But yeah, I don't know. We'll keep trying things. Sort of like every stream or two, I sort of try and reroute cables or move things around. We'll just keep trying to figure it out, and eventually we'll figure it out, or we won't, and you know, we'll just have these technical aspects at every stream, and it'll be like a little character on the show. A little character, a little stream crash every now and then. But I'm going to keep welding this part. But yeah, got a really great one in particular. Got a really great weld on that filter basket. Really happy with that. that was a really nice looking weld. Getting some great consistency, really tight dabs on the welds, which I'm really happy about. It's going pretty good, really. I can hear the part vibrating as I'm welding, which can't be helping with the earthing. I am worried about putting weight in there though, because it might rock and roll off the chocks. But I think weighing it down will definitely help with the earth as well. Something I wanted to do, I was just thinking I will change blur. Oh, I wanted to check this camera. Yeah, I can't show you the settings. The camera has died, and I'm not going to go through the trouble of cycling it again. But what I am just checking is, I just wanted to see if the 5% reduction in high frequency start was a global setting, which it is. So it's applied to this this setting as well. So yeah, I think we'll just keep on welding. New welding helmet. Nice. 9100. That's the big screen version. With the AdFlow. Yeah, AdFlow. Freaking awesome. To go along with the MIG, or just in general for all the welding. Is this helmet an FX? No, this is the XXI, so not the big screen. Although the FX has the flip up situation or the AdFlow. But sick, man. I've been looking at the ESAB Sentinel helmets. I'm far from being in the market of a new helmet, but I just think they look sick. And they're bloody cheap too, but yeah, awesome, man. Nothing like new welding gear, hey. Yeah, nice man. Really good. Probably a really good idea to look after your health as well. Something I think about quite regularly, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do anything about it. but yeah, I think about it all the time. Still getting great welds. A little bit of a step in that weld there. A lot of it is to do with the baffle on the inside, I think. This particular baffle almost pushes hard up against the back corner here, and we do see that from time to time with pulse or not. So I'm not mad about that at all. I'll show you at the end of the night, but I'm using a lot of rods. When I get my new pack of meter long rods, I will start the rod counter. So I'm very curious on how many rods I go through per tank or through a night or whatever. But let's keep on keeping on. Nothing wrong with that weld at all. Obviously I've gone to a chill block on the part now. Got a little gap at the bottom there, not on this seam but the one that's coming up. Probably should have done this bottom section a lot earlier in the part because we've got this hole really close. But we'll just fusion weld around him, and then when the fitting goes on we'll take care of the aesthetics of it. Okay, so you can see pretty easy there. Managed to keep, I mean with the pulse it's so much easier, but just really dialed it back across that hole there, and as soon as there was enough meat in it, just widened it back up again. Kept that that bead profile really nice either side of that hole. When I do this, I really try and keep the bottom lined up. From this angle, it's really hard to do, but it's not too bad. It actually looks really neat. That will, when I weld that fitting on, the weld will go underneath, so you won't see any of that. But it's just like a little micro challenge while I'm welding the part. So this here, the gap is just there. It is, it's just over 0.5 millimeter. It's probably 3/4 of a millimeter. But we are, I mean, the way that I'm going to weld it, we are welding towards the gap. But the pulse setting should give us plenty of leeway to be able to sneak up on it and not blow out. But we'll find out in a few seconds whether that's a true statement or not. I was cautious leading up, and it shows in the weld. I was like, the whole way traveling across, I was waiting for that to sort of pop open, and you can see as I got more nervous, the bead got a little bit narrower there, but still looks really good. I keep setting up this camera every time thinking you can see it while I'm welding, and I realize you can't. But very much habit at this point to set that camera up between welds. This is the nicest one I've welded tonight, and it is entirely pulse welded. Specifically happy with this front weld here, and this long section at the back looks really nice too. I don't know why I've been struggling. So the pulse welding was something that I was never really good at. I have a video up on my channel somewhere, and it's something like my weird welding settings or something, and it's just a really high pulse rate. It was actually a really forgiving welding setting, and that was on my Token Tools machine. And during 2020, when things went out of control busy, I actually reached out to another fab shop to help me weld these catch cans up, which was Rob at Streamline Fabrication, and he was welding my products to the same sort of standard that I weld them to, but he was using a pulse setting, and to get those kind of results on a pulse setting where I was using straight current, I really tried hard to emulate that, to replicate that. And I just never had success. Sometimes I thought I had success, and when I would go back to a straight current, I just find that I could weld so much better. Tonight, and I might change my mind when I come in the morning and look at these parts, but tonight's changed my mind. The ease, the speed, and I feel like the pulse setting used a fair bit less filler rod. But again, I will come in the morning with some fresh eyes and see if I'm happy. And we'll try the pulse setting again on tomorrow's stream, because often, at least with this Kempe machine, often the settings back to back over days just don't net me the same results. So anyway, I am super happy with the outcome of this can. Basically, there is quite a difference. So this one here was the 60% on time, and then this one is the 55% on time. And you can tell the shorter on time puts a little bit of urgency in the dab. I've managed to keep the width really well, but you can see that the laziness on the on time, the extra on time, just makes a wider dab. But yeah, really happy. I'm gonna you guys can't see because this camera is turned off currently, but I'm just going to save those settings. So this is setting profile number 3 on this machine if I need to reference back to this video. And I don't think we did an overview after all the changes, but we are on a 1 second pulse. We're on a 50% on time, and the frequency is 95 Hertz, and we're on -28 on the AC balance. And I might drop that down a little bit, but we will be playing with the balance again when that new Tigware cup rocks up. So yeah, that looks bloody great. Really happy with that. We did weld another tank as well, which was a mix between pulse and straight current. But we got more to do tomorrow, and I cut so many parts on the CNC machine today, so we got a ton of work coming up. There's just a lot going on in every direction in this shop right now. So I'm going to wrap it up there. We've just gone 7 o'clock and we've just hit 1 hour and 39 minutes on the stream. Bloody good stream tonight. We still have some electrical gremlins, and you know, they'll, like I said, they'll either become a character in the show, or we'll over time eradicate them. At least try and figure out what causes them. Everyone who watched the stream live is here now. Chris in particular for jumping in chat, always a pleasure. I love having a dialogue, it's bloody awesome. Anyone who's watching, you guys rock. Thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight. I had a message the other day saying, or I guess asking or stating that changing the name of the video, the stream title, after it goes from stream to a video to more describe what happened within the stream. So I guess, for example, this was welding an R34 catch can, but we actually ended up playing around with pulse settings. Somebody mentioned in a private message, someone mentioned in a private message that updating those stream titles so they know what the video's about would be beneficial. So I might give that a try as things go on. So I appreciate that feedback. That's definitely the kind of thing that I'm looking for. Just little tidbits to let me know what you want to see. So tomorrow we'll come back, we'll stream with some more pulse setting and see if we get the same results as what looks like we got awesome results tonight. Anyone who watches this video after it was live, you guys bloody rock too. While you're here, hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and every little click of that button really helps me out. Actually helps me out. And if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. But let me know why you don't like it and what I can do to improve. Have a great night, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.